Welcome to our channel. We're so happy to have you here. Don't forget to subscribe and help us hit our goal of 100,000 subscribers. As Soviets approached Berlin, the citizens of the city did their best to take care of zoo animals. 1945. A young boy carrying his deceased baby brother on his back in Nagasaki. October 1945, waiting in line at the crematorium. Photo taken by Joe O'Donnell. B-24. Liberator of the 705th Bomb Squadron over Orly Airfield, Paris, May 1944. Dzerzhinsky, Felix Edmundowicz, Polish revolutionary, Soviet statesman and party leader, head of a number of people's commissariats, founder and head of the Cheka. The photo was taken in Krakow in 1912. In 1966, a terrible blizzard swept across the United States and the east side of the Rocky Mountains. Sergeant Karen Hermiston, a.k.a. Hermie, earned a special place in Canadian history as the only official female photographer for the armed forces amidst combat during World War II. Lucille Ball in her high school basketball team photo in 1925. She's the one in front, sitting on the ground. Clara Bow photographed for her first talkie The Wild Party, 1928, released in 1929. 1922. Dorothy Arnold in the Greenwich Village Follies of 1922, photographed by Edwin Bauer Hesser. Indian noblewoman Rani Shri Amrit Kaur Sahib in her traditional clothes, 26th of June, 1924. Paul Newman at the premiere party for Cool Hand Luke in New York City, 1967. A Raisin in the Sun, 1961. Sidney Poitier in downtown Chicago, then and now, 2025 OCEIC, Carol Burnett, with cinematographer Joseph Ruttenberg during production of Daniel Mann's Who's Been Sleeping in My Bed, 1963. Publicity portrait of actor Yale Summers, 1933 to 2012, holding a jaguar cub as Jack Dane in the TV series Daktari, 1966, United States. Photo of Jacksonville Mayor Hans Tanzler and Lee Meredith. Times Union File photo, October 1968, Lou Egner, Jacksonville Journal. Soldiers look down at the 45-meter-deep crater left by the detonation. By the British of 21 tons of explosives underneath German positions near Messines in West Flanders. It was one of the largest non-nuclear explosions in history. The blast killed 10,000 soldiers. It was heard as far as Dublin. Royal Navy warship HMS Cossack has rescued the last known survivor from sunken battleship Bismarck, a ship's cat found clinging to floating debris. He's been named Oscar, the naval signal for man overboard. Alexei Nikolaevich, third from right son of the Tsar Nicholas II, smacks another boy in the face for making a mistake during a cadet drill. As a result of pilot error, a transport plane dropped a load intended for the Women's Battalion to the fighters. Southern Rhodesia, January 1980. Olympic swimmer Jenny Fletcher in her prime during the 1910s. She won gold and silver in the 1912 Olympics in Sweden. Before she was Dorothy on the Golden Girls, B. Arthur joined the U.S. Marine Corps Women's Reserve during World War II. She served for 2 years as a driver and dispatcher in North Carolina and had only one blemish on her record: contracting a venereal disease that left her incapacitated for a month in 1944. Mohandas Gandhi, with his charkha cloth spinning wheel in his prison cell at Yaravda prison in India from 1932 to 1933, he was imprisoned for demonstrating against British rule. He encouraged others to spin their own cloth, as opposed to buying it off the British. Female medical practitioners pose with a human skeleton, UK circa 1900. Unusual and rare photograph of Winston Churchill feeding his pet white kangaroo, Digger, the only albino kangaroo in Europe, at London Zoo, Regent's Park, 1948. An ethnic Albanian demonstrator gasps for breath after he was beaten by riot police, while a policeman, C, runs through tear gas during clashes in the center of Pristina, March 2, 1998. Bar Gunner. Terry Moore eats his rations on Okinawa. April/May 1945. He served with the 184th Infantry Regiment, 7th Infantry Division, and was wounded in action on May 27, 1945. He was discharged on August 9, 1945, and passed away in 2004. He is buried in Lompoc, California. At the turn of the 20th century, tens of thousands of children worked as newsboys in cities across the United States. They would buy bundles of newspapers from publishers and then sell them on the street. Most newsboys were poor, many were homeless, and some began working as young as 4 years old. A lone Soviet soldier walks away from a grave of his fallen brothers in arms on the banks of the Volga, Stalingrad. 478,000 to 675,000 Red Army troops died in the brutal fighting. February 1943. On this day in 1970, 2,000 students gathered on the campus of Kent State in Ohio to protest the Vietnam War. Though canisters of tear gas were fired into the crowd, the protesters remained steadfast. At 12:24 p.m., National Guardsmen opened fire, killing 4 people and injuring 9 in 13 seconds. In 1969, when Black Americans were still prevented from swimming alongside whites, Mr. Rogers decided to invite Officer Clemens to join him and cool his feet in a pool. South African police beating women with batons in Durban, South Africa, on April 17, 1962, after they had destroyed and set fire to a brewery in protest against police actions banning homemade alcohol. Italian immigrants arriving at the port of Santos, São Paulo, Brazil in 1907. Louis Leakey wearing his iconic coveralls over his tuxedo at a Leakey Foundation fundraising event, sometime between 1968 to 1972. This photo is one of only 2 photos in existence of the U.S. Supreme Court in session. Karime Aboud, 1896 to 1940, one of the first Palestinian women in the Levant region to pursue photography. The photo of the tallest Nazi soldier on record, Jacob Nacken, captured at Calais in 1944. A member of the Harlem Hellfighters, 369th Infantry Regiment, poses for the camera while holding a puppy he saved during World War I, 1918. 1897. Lady telephone operator cabinet photo at the primitive and early switchboard in Chillicothe, Missouri. Future terrorist and Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh selling bumper stickers outside the Branch Davidian compound during the 1993 federal siege in Waco. Baseball legends Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig fundraising for a new hospital at Dexter Park in Brooklyn, New York on October 12, 1928. Ruth subsequently commandeered a cop's horse and proceeded to ride around the stadium. Elton John at Dodger Stadium, 1975. Children working in a cotton mill using highly dangerous machinery, the advent of laws that protect children from being forced into work and health and safety were unfortunately decades away. Dustin Hoffman, Robin Williams, and Dante Basco on the set of Hook. Crown Prince Wilhelm of Germany in full parade uniform, 1905. Josef Tiso, Catholic priest and leader of Slovakia, giving a speech in front of soldiers and civilians in Neusol, Banska Bystrica. To the left of Tiso, to his right, is Hermann Höfle, a general of the Waffen-SS, in October of 1944. Arriving immigrants, Haifa, Israel, 1949. Salvador Dali, 1930s. Grace Kelly's wedding to Prince Rainier III. Actress Jane Russell shows off to Marilyn one of her talents, being a great pencil artist, and drawing her during a break from the film of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, 1953. Alfred Hitchcock and a baby on the set of The Birds, 1963. Theta Bar in Cleopatra, 1917. A lost film, 400 stills 20 seconds of the film itself, and the intro are known to have survived. A small loop of the film exists. Young Leonardo DiCaprio. Feeding Hannibal Lecter, a French fry on the scene of Silence of the Lambs. Sophia Loren was born on September 20th, 1934. Rare color photo of the Kennedys. Young Johnny Depp. Ursula Andress and Sean Connery. Sunbathing in the Bahamas while filming. Dr. Number 1961. Leonardo DiCaprio. On the set of Critters 3. Young John Lennon with his puppy. Meryl Streep was born on June 22, 1949. Billie Holiday